Hey YouTube, what's up? Dr. T here, and welcome to the Altcoin Express and my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida, where we target turning 23,000 of Ethereum into a cool million in under 5 years, trading altcoins on the Bitcoin Exchange. So, taking a look at the big picture and trying to get some idea of where things are going, I think it's fair to say that Bitcoin is guiding where everything is going right now, Ethereum being the second. Coin is following its lead. Bitcoin had a humongous uprise this morning, so it's taking some time to titrate that out. It's currently on a marginal kind of downswing, upswing. The same thing applies to Ethereum pretty much. It did a upside and is doing the same thing. Looking at the big picture, it's kind of bright. Let's take the brightness out of there a bit. Fries my eyes. Looking at the big picture, 3 months. Okay, we'll just take a look at 6 months. Take a look at a year. Okay, now comparisons. When it was coming up to this big rise, it had a big up and then it went fallow, and it had a big up and it went fallow. So that's some guidance. We're seeing just a general upside here. Let's move in a bit. And let's move in a bit more. And here's our first kind of look at a transition. Let's move in a little bit more. Okay, here's the first transition. It comes up and it takes a penny out of there. That's 5 up. That's like about 1% or so. It goes up, has a mini sell-off, so that's about 5 to 20. It's about a 4% sell-off. So that's over a few days. It had a 4% sell-off. Gives us some perspective. Last 7 days, we have upside. So where on earth is it going? Where on earth is it going? Let's go back a bit. Let's go back a bit more. Well, anywhere really. It just depends how far up it wants to go, because you can't really tell other than to follow what your moving averages are saying. So it's got plenty of opportunity, and it's probably going to rise up to somewhere around here over some period of time, because it tends to like support levels and resistance levels. So this has happened over a bunch of days, and no doubt this will take quite a bit of time to do that. Okay, so let's have a look at the relative upsides. Now it came down, it had a buy up and then a sell off. So we want to make sure, because in this interim you don't know whether it's really sold down to its base or not. It's just having another buy up and then another bit of a sell off. So, and that peak was around here, from here. So I'm saying we're going to have a look at the upside from when you can guarantee it's an upside. So we take this number here, which is 412, and go up to its peak. That's over here. Okay, that one, high. 5. I took the first one, I think. Yeah, I took this one here. So that rise from 412 to 532 is a 29% upside. So it's taken 29% of absolute guaranteed upside because it's above this level, and it was not clear whether that was a buy up or whether it was just another transition going up and down. So here is a clear breakout. It went up 29% before it was decided that a sell-off was necessary. Well, you know, it's just a little sell-off, and it's kept within that fold for a few days. and now we can measure the current upside and get some perspective as to where it's going. Numbers are 498, 489, so it's currently on an 18% upside. Now, I like to kind of get some perspective with these moving averages to see how well it's doing. I'm not sure which one to use. I'll think about that for a minute. So I'm setting on an hour. This is on TradingView for a comparison. So this rise that we just talked about, it's my 30-day moving average is above the 90-day moving average, peaks out, and then it transcends below it for a regrouping, and then here there's another breakout, and we're off up again. Now, there is nothing particularly blow up about this. It's maximum distance above the green and the red lines are if anything, it's probably a little bit higher. It's a little bit more aggressive on its angle of attack there. But if we take the former upside percentage, it's not the value. The percentage is different as it goes down the road and it gets more and more expensive. So it's on an 18% upside. Well, if we assume quasi that it's going to go somewhere further, then we can see where it's going, and then we can look in closer to see when that is transitioning. It's pretty clear that it's going to go higher because Bitcoin is taking it higher. It's in a kind of a transitional phase at the moment, and sort of peaking out and getting some regrouping. So that's that. So it looks like it's going to be going higher for the moment. There's no reason to expect that it is not going to go higher after it's regrouped and will take off again. One can't see any reason for it to be kind of ballooning up. So I've now got what I'm calling a transpositional portfolio, otherwise known as Trans Portfolio, for comparing that grouping which I talked about in the previous post to the current situation. I've just taken another reading on where things are because one wants to try and get a handle on so it looks kind of busy. One tries to get a handle on how well the altcoins are doing relative to the majors. So these are the group of 15 that I've picked that I talked about in the current post. I've just put a new series on from a set timeline. These are all connected to ontology, but they're all relative to one another. That was the first upside of Ethereum. That's the current position. It's dropped off a little bit. This is the sum of the portfolio then. This is the sum of the portfolio now. So the portfolio is gaining a little bit, but one of the majors has shot up like a rocket, and that's EOS. So that's kind of moving things to the upside a bit out of the norm. I mean, you can see how EOS is just rocketing away from things. It's being overbought up. It has to come back down again. So the perspective of this is to see how the portfolio moves relative to Ethereum. And at some point Ethereum will reach a peak and will have a sell-off. And if one wants to get out of the way, then presumably the best place to do is to find the most stable of these coins and spread one's money across them. That, or just go over to GDAX and take it out of Ethereum into cash. Not sure which is the best approach, because it's a moving thing and it's rather difficult to absolutely evaluate. But that's what I'm doing in terms of getting some handle on where things are going and how to make smart decisions about what one wants to do with one's current holdings.